Hello and welcome back to Hope, Heartful Outreach, Positive Encouragement. I am your host, Beverly Rivers, and my co-host, Mr. Corey Henderson, is not here tonight. He had some things to attend to, so we will definitely miss him tonight. But we must keep the show going. We have a special topic to talk about tonight. As you may remember, we did a program, our premiere broadcast. The title of that was Hope for Our Youth, Our Future. And it was a very, very good broadcast. We really enjoyed doing that and discussing the needs of our youth and young adults as they're in school and in college. And one of the topics that was sort of a hot topic in there was about the use of smart devices and social media and how that's affecting their lives. Our two guests were Ms. Brooker, who teaches up to high school age, and Dr. Tennyson, who teaches in a private college. And both of them were concerned about the use of technology in school. Ms. Brooker was concerned that the technology should not be in the school and that the kids should not use their devices in class, but put them aside and only use them after class or in their personal time. And she made a point of saying that if the parents needed to reach their children, they could call the office and the office would reach out and get their children. And then Dr. Tennyson's take is to use the technology in class so that they can teach them how to use it properly and when to use it properly. And if they are using it properly in class, he allows it. But if he finds them doing something with the device that is not on topic, not on task, then he shuts them down and takes away the privilege. So I think that what they had to say was very powerful. Anyone who has not seen that broadcast, I recommend that you go back and watch it, because they had some very powerful things to say. Well, as we did some research on it and, just kind of stepped back and took a look at it and considered what our guests on that broadcast had to say, we realized that this is a topic that's been going on for quite some time, how social media is affecting young people. And so we pulled together a few little clips to share in this broadcast. But first, we want to say to our guests, Maki Sensei to Kumi Sensei, go sanka domo arigatou gozaimashita. We thank you so much for what you have done to be a part of our program here and for sending in your video discussing the needs of the youth in Japan. So, Maki, please share a little bit about what is happening with the youth in Japan.
Hi everyone, this is Maki from Japan. Thank you, Vivari, for this opportunity to share about the youth in Japan. I've been pastoring a church where my parents were pastoring over 40 years. I was passed on 3 years ago, and from these experiences that I can really share about how's the youth right now in Japan like. Here with me, like a Kamishu also will share about from her church. Her church is in Miyazaki and pastoring a church also. So we both of us to talk about the youth in Japan. So
Yes,
what I'd like to share is that I would say pretty much the age of from the teenager to up to 20, like even the mid-30s, like since they have devices, the smartphones, such as all those, they are pretty much addicted to use and without knowing it. And what happens out of those habits is very serious, I see.
Yes.
For example, like they're really looking at the other people's life, and automatically they compare uh, like about their lives, and just really spontaneously losing the confidence, and really like losing all the even the like abilities that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
They just really see other people's life like much better than
Yes.
themselves. Like
Yes.
those things, those feelings are very like serious to like gradually losing the sense of even the motivation to do like anything about their lives, like doing the club activities or something that is like to try to do new things. So even like I see, I teach English to the students and children like from elementary school age to middle high school and university. That the young age, at the age of the elementary school, like they really started to losing even like going to the school, and it's happening like really as normal like at our age. Those situations, uh, students are, and not many, but right now it's just almost like becoming as a standard, and parents have no control over it. So they didn't find any particular reason that they just to be in that kind of situation. So I really see that those using smartphones habits creating such a serious issues
Yes.
with the youth in Japan.
Yes. So yes, Maki, as you are sharing that the youth in Japan are so caught up in social media and what others look like on social media. And I'm telling you that that is a common thread around the world when it comes to youth, because you will see in this clip that I'm going to post in just a moment that youth are watching what others do and comparing themselves, and they don't realize that when they're watching other people on social media, people are putting their best foot forward. They're looking their best. They're using the best lighting. You're using makeup and putting on the best clothes so that they project the best of themselves to the world. And so kids watch that and they assume that this is that person's life all the time and that their lives are perfect. And it's not so. And I wanted to share a clip of a broadcast that where some youth were being interviewed, and they had something similar to say about the same topic you're talking about. So check this out.
You're on YouTube or TikTok, Snapchat, Discord, but I feel like there could be a darker side to that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right by saying that?
Absolutely.
Definitely that comparison thing that you do when you're scrolling and you see all these different people, you constantly compare yourself, and I think that's definitely a negative. And
Yes.
it always seems like they're living the perfect life that you are not, even though that's not true.
Absolutely.
No, I agree with what Ellie said. Like, it acts like they have a perfect life and they're perfect. They can do whatever they want. They have all that money. Compared to them, I'm a nobody.
I like art a lot. I draw in my free time and I write in my free time, and then I see like all these content creators making like these gorgeous pieces of art digitally, and they're like younger than me. They could be like 12 and they already like mastered the use of like lighting and shading, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy crap, like why am I doing this? But there's so many other people that are like so much younger than me and have so much more potential than me.
So yes, we can see by listening to that clip how kids are looking at social media without really a filter of understanding that what they're looking at is really not the real world on a daily basis. It's just that person's excellent best at the moment. And it does shut them down. It causes them to say, well, why am I doing this? There's so many other people better than me. I might as well, give up. And the one young man saying that, hey, I'm, I'm nothing. They've got all this money and I've got nothing. And it can diminish one's self-esteem. So I just want you to see that this is a problem worldwide. Even though I'm not showing clips worldwide, I've seen other clips from Europe and other countries where the same problems are going on. I'm going to go further in that clip because I want you to hear what one of the youngest members of that panel had to say about what social media has done for his understanding of the world. So check this out.
During certain things that were happening in this country, did you see certain things that impacted you?
Yes, I'm like, what are these police doing? Like, they wildin'.
You talking about police and brutality?
Yes.
What was that like when you saw stuff like that?
When I saw something like that, I'm thinking that we're not even out of slavery anymore. Like, we're back where we were when times started.
Wow.
You're 8 years old and you were thinking that?
Yes, I was concerned for myself because I'm black and these people are like disrespecting us, my kind, and like I'm not feeling good about that.
So you can see that the young man there, he's only 8 years old, and already he has absorbed the frustration of just being an African American child living in this country and seeing on social media things that show that Black people get disrespected and treated differently than others. And it just hurt me to watch him just touch his skin and say, "I'm Black." And this is happening to people that look like me, like my kind. One of the thoughts that I had too, Maki Sensei and Kumi Sensei, is that a lot of times I see parents who will give their child a cell phone, a tablet, or a laptop, and that is the babysitter because they're just trying to keep the child out of their hair. And it seems like, wow, so convenient. They can sit there and, watch SpongeBob or whatever they want to watch on a device, and that keeps them entertained while the parent is doing something else. While that may not be altogether wrong to do, I believe that there should be limitations on that, because I believe that the interaction between the child and the parent gets, compromised because the child is spending so much time looking at a device and so much time wanting to play these games and interact with social media that they become challenged when it comes to actually talking face to face with someone. All of us have experienced that, going to a restaurant and seeing two people on a date or a family there at a dinner time, and everybody's got a device in their hand and they're more focused on the device than they are on each other. And so social media is an addiction, just like you said. It's an addiction. And the question becomes, what are we going to do about that? I mean, what can we do? I want to go a little bit further and hear from Kumi Sensei regarding what's going on at her church.
So how's your situation, the youth
Yes.
in the church?
Yes, I think we are the same. Actually, I'm from the countryside, so it's kind of a little bit different from like bigger city like Osaka, but it's still the same. All the like high schoolers and junior high school students, almost all of them are having this smartphone, even at school.
At school.
Even though they are kind of forbidden to bring those stuff, but still they have it. So some of our church members, youth members who don't have smartphones, they told me that some of them got bullied because of that.
Bullied.
They don't have smartphones.
So kids are being bullied.
They cannot join this conversation because they have so much information through the SMS or of course TV as well. But because of that, they cannot get involved in their conversations. So in the end, they are out of this small society, even in school. So they are asking for smartphone or some kind of devices to their parents. They really want it because not just because of they want to have it, but it's because they cannot be a friend. They are friends if they don't have those devices. So
Yeah, so here it is that the kids are being ostracized from the group. And here in America, we call it cliques. You know, kids form little cliques, you know, and I can imagine, you know, if you don't have a smart device and you are not up to date with the latest TikTok challenge and know what the kids are laughing and talk about, you're just on the outside looking in and you can get ridiculed. So as Kumi Sensei just said, you know, kids are getting bullied, and I'm sure that's happening here in America too, because not every child's parent is willing to buy them a cell phone or even can afford to buy them a cell phone. So this is a common problem in both of our countries, that kids are having these challenges. Let's go on and see what else the two of them have to say.
yes, it's getting such a serious situation. And then because of that, they don't want to go to school in the end. They have no desire to join the society and stuff. So this, we call it in Japanese Hikikomori. I think it became also word in the word Hikikomori, those who won't be able to go to school or go into the society. We call it Hikikomori, but it's getting serious problem even in our countryside.
So Hikikomori is like, it seems that because that's a Japanese word, people relate to it as a Japanese problem, but you can just Google Hikikomori on YouTube and find that it is not just a Japanese problem. This problem is happening all over the world in every country. It's just that the different cultures, it plays its way out in different ways. And there is a very popular book written by a Japanese author who I will post his name in the credits because it escapes me right now. But he was doing research on this, and he found that there are people in every country who withdraw from society because they are put down, they're bullied, they don't feel like they fit into any mold. And so because they don't fit and because they feel uncomfortable, they will withdraw. And many of them will just stay in their room, you know, day in and day out, and just, you know, use social media as their connection to the world. Many of them are gamers and they just spend hours gaming. On the most extreme side, there are people who stay in their room, young people who withdraw from school, and, you know, their parents slide the food into their room. They want to try to get them to come out, but they won't. Some of them won't even come out to use the facilities. And that is very serious, where in your room you have a place to, you know, for your excrements, you know, because you don't want to go even out of the room to use the bathroom. Very serious. I did come across an American Hikikomori who is who's a blogger, and he uses it as his outlet to, you know, just get some of his emotions out. And I wanted to interview him, but was unable to actually connect with him live and to get a response. But it is a problem throughout the world, and it's different in each country how it comes out. According to this Japanese author that I'm going to post below, he says that the incidence of reclusiveness and being ostracized turns into like homelessness, mostly for American kids. And that may be true because most in other countries, kids usually stay home longer, into their 20s and sometimes early 30s before launching out into the world. Unlike in America, the moment the child turns 18, they're expected to make some major decision to go to college, to work, or something of that nature. So next, I just want to share a little video this is for Kumi to take a look at, because when I saw this little clip, I thought of what she just said about kids wanting that cell phone and just, they're asking the parents to give me a cell phone because I need it. So take a look at this clip.
I use my phone a lot as a stress relief because there are a lot of things I have going on in my life.
I don't have to worry about if my friends like or do not like the posts and the social stress that I get.
What's addictive about Instagram is, just an endless bowl of soup. You keep
An
going,
endless
you keep
bowl of
scrolling.
soup.
I feel like I wouldn't have any friends if I didn't have my phone. If nobody else had a phone either, I don't think it would be much of an issue for me. But it's the idea of like me being the only one without social media or me being the only one without a phone and feeling like I'm the weird one.
So once again, here are kids talking about, their use of social media. And I really pulled that clip because the young lady at the end said, it wouldn't be such a bad thing if, no one had a phone. But because everyone has a phone, I don't want to be the odd girl out. I just feel like I need to have one too so I can fit in. And that is really the challenge right there. Young people are at that age where they are identifying themselves. They're coming into themselves as far as their identity, but right at the moment they want to be like their friends and wear what they wear, do what they do, play the games they play, and be able to be in the conversations that they are in. And that unfortunately has become social media. Social media has gotten their attention, and so they want to just be a part of what's going on and be in the mix. So let's continue on with what the ladies from Japan have to say about what's going on there.
With those SMS group habits, I really also see the issue that it's really getting complicated, that you are in a group and you don't respond immediately, like you get the kind like a bad impression to others in the group, and they starting like being so harsh to someone who didn't respond so and it's just very like sensitive, complicated habits and issues and relationships among the like young such age, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. And I also heard that even to make friends, it's just beyond the schools, beyond the grades, and like it's so easy to be friends like with strangers.
Yes,
and the parents
that's a danger.
were not able to know who they were, and so it's just really like over beyond what the parents can control over their own children. And so it's just I really see the serious situations where are surrounded our youth with these devices. So I really right now like seeking that how we can really be with youth and to solve actual this situation and conditions. And so if you could pray for these situations and
Absolutely.
pretty much on control, and then I would see more of the issues with these habits, depending on the age. It's like the 20s and 30s, and then definitely that's affecting to the relationships wise that we need to build up. So if you could remember our youth in Japan, that is so appreciated.
Yes, we
So
really
thank you
will
so
pray.
much for this opportunity, and we are also praying for all the youth in all over the world.
Wonderful. I really appreciate your responses to this topic, and it really brings more awareness to the fact that it's not just a local problem, it's not just an American problem, it's not just a Japanese problem. It is a worldwide problem for not only the youth and young adult, but for people in general. And to bring that point home, I have one more clip that I found, and it was very disturbing to me to see this, because what's happening to us, we might be thinking to ourselves, well, what's happening to us? What can we do about this? But first, let's just get a real understanding of what's happening to us. So let's check this last video clip out.
You're dealing with an addictive generation. This is a big time bomb ticking.
This is no accident. Indeed, it is by design.
I mean, seriously?
It was my mistake.
I mean, I think we can all feel it.
To try to make these products as addictive as possible.
Spike in dopamine.
And we now know that many of the major social media companies hire individuals called attention engineers who borrow principles from Las Vegas casino gambling, among other places, to try to make these products as addictive as possible. That is the desired use case of these products, is that you use it in an addictive fashion because that maximizes the profit that can be extracted from your attention and data.
It's always about money.
Point now, where I think we have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. That is truly where we are.
The way the technologist Jaron Lanier puts it is that these companies offer you shiny treats in exchange for minutes of your attention and bytes of your personal data, which can then be packaged up and sold.
What happened is that the attention economy and this race for attention got more and more competitive. And the more competitive it got to get people's attention on, say, a news website, the more they need to add these design principles, these more manipulative design tactics, as ways of holding on to your attention.
You don't realize it, but you are being programmed.
Social media tools are designed to be addictive. The actual desired use case of these tools is that you fragment your attention as much as possible throughout your waking hours. That's how these tools are designed to use. Well, we have a growing amount of research which tells us that if you spend large portions of your day in a state of fragmented attention, so large portions of your day where you're constantly breaking up your attention, take a quick glance, do a just check, and just quickly look at Instagram, that this can permanently reduce your capacity for concentration. I'm especially worried about this when we look at the younger generation coming up, which is the most saturated in this technology.
It's very addictive because if you pull on the slot machine arm enough, you will win. And you never know which pull will reward you.
Wow. That clip just tells a story right there. It is an intentional plan to fragment our attention so that we are just constantly, chasing squirrels, That's really how it is. And we've all been victim to it. I don't know how many times I've gotten on the computer intending to just check my email. And as soon as I open it, there are like all types of flickery things that talk about this just happened, that just happened. What about this? This sale's going on, that sale's going on. This is on sale. And things will just kind of pull your attention away from what you're doing. And I will have clicked on 2 or 3 things, and about 15 minutes or 20 minutes later, sit there and go, what did I get on the internet to do? I was not intended to follow this link about such and such, and that is what they do. And that's why our kids are having such a hard time. And that fragmenting our attention really is dumbing our kids down, causing them not to be able to concentrate on schoolwork and on the things that will help them to grow and be a better human being. So yes, we do have a serious problem going on. And, you know, as people of faith, you know, we think about, well, what can we do? Many people think, well, you just need to pull your kids out of society, but that's not healthy for kids. It's like the Lord tells us to be in the world, but not of the world. So we have to be here. We have to function in society. We cannot encourage them to retreat into their room and become a Hikikomori. They have to engage in society and become an adult that can actually function and live in this world. And so I guess the real thought that I have more than anything else is, Lord, what do we do? What can we do? As parents, we have to regulate. We have to be parents and, you know, cut down the amount of time the child is using social media. When their homework and those things that they are supposed to do, their chores, their schoolwork, things that they're supposed to do around the home are not done, then, you know, you can use that desire to use social media as something that you can pull back and say, look, when you have done what you're supposed to do, then I'll give you some social media time. But even so, that social media time needs to be regulated, because I think back to the young 8-year-old. It's like and I'm not saying this in judgment because I do not know those kids personally or their families, but I do know families who just allow their kids to just use as much social media as possible because they feel like they're in the house, they're safe, so I'm not worried about them because they're entertained. But it's not good for them mentally, it's not good for them socially, and it is probably not good for them health-wise either, with all of the electronic things and so many hours of use. So as a Christian, of course, you know, and as we do these programs, we always want to end with a message of hope. And the message of hope really is that Jesus already prayed for us for this time that we're living in. Before he went to the cross, he remembered us in prayer. And he knew, because he lived this life, you know, he lived through all the distractions and all of the temptations of life that pull us away from being Christ-like, from being godly, from living holy. Jesus went through it here, and he knew that we were headed for trouble. So before he went to the cross, he prayed. Who better to pray for us than Christ himself?
This is Jesus's high priestly prayer, and he not only prayed for his disciples, but he also prayed for every one of us who will believe because of their word. And this was right before Christ went to the cross to die for each and every one of us. And this is what he prayed. He said, I pray for them. I am not praying for the world, but for those you have given me, for they are yours. All I have is yours, and all you have is mine. And glory has come to me through them. I will remain in the world no longer, but they are still in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, protect them by the power of your name, the name you gave me, so that they may be one as we are one. While I was with them, I protected them and kept them safe by that name you gave me. None has been lost except the one doomed to destruction, so that scripture will be fulfilled. I am coming to you now, but I say these things while I am still in the world, so that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one.
And let us continue to pray for our youth, just as Maki Sensei said, let us continue in prayer that God will save their souls, that God will convict their hearts to be more like Christ, and that they will not be addicted to these devices. God bless you tonight, and we'll see you next time on Hope, Heartful Outreach, Positive Encouragement. Good night.